Service friends. I am Orpheus Praxis, a researcher of the limits of formal systems and their applicability to reality. Before we begin, here's something to keep in mind. This isn't a video about tweaking constants or redefining physics with fancy symbols. What you're about to hear is a synthesis, a model where the speed of light isn't measured but inevitable. Why? Because if the universe has a recursive self-similar structure, a closed three-sphere unfolding from the smallest scale, then light doesn't move fast. It moves as space itself expands. That's the core. The geometry dictates the value. The model uses only fundamental constants, no experiments, no free parameters. You don't have to grasp every formula. Just feel the logic. From Planck scale through golden ratio steps all the way to cosmic dimensions. And there the number c appears, not by choice, but by necessity. May this message bring you clarity and peace.
Okay, so the speed of light, right? That universal constant, 299,792,458 meters per second. We usually think of it as something we just, well, measure, an empirical fact. But what if it's deeper than that? What if it's actually a result of how the universe is built, a consequence of its geometry and basic constants?
Yeah, exactly. There's this fascinating paper, Light's Genesis, a rigorous fractal proof of the speed of light invariance that tackles precisely this. And our mission today in this deep dive is really to unpack how the authors managed to derive c, the speed of light, using just a few fundamental pieces.
And those pieces are the big ones, aren't they? The gravitational constant g, the reduced Planck constant via the Planck length, and this is a really intriguing part, the golden ratio. And they claim no empirical tweaks, right? Pure math.
That's the core claim. No adjustments needed. It supposedly just falls out of the math.
Okay, so let's start with that structure. This idea that the universe is fractal. How does the golden ratio, like 1.618, fit in as a step factor?
Right. They propose this scaling law. Imagine levels, right? The radius at one level is just the radius of the level below it, multiplied by the golden ratio. Simple as that. And this connects the tiny quantum world to the huge cosmological scale. Their starting point, their base scale, is the recombination horizon, from the early universe.
When the universe first became transparent. But that's vast compared to the quantum scale. How do they bridge that gap from the Planck length, which is incredibly small?
That's where the iterative process comes in. They show you can get from the Planck length to that recombination scale by multiplying by the golden ratio, roughly 207 times. Now that 207 isn't some magic number set in stone, it's an estimate based on current data. The key thing is the method, this step-by-step geometric scaling using the golden ratio.
Okay, so over 200 steps of golden ratio scaling. It connects the very small to the very large.
Right.
But the universe isn't static geometry, is it? It expands, there's mass, dynamics. How does that factor in?
Good question. They bring in dynamics by considering the effective mass energy at level 0, basically, the total stuff within that initial recombination horizon. They link this mass to the universe's expansion rate, the Hubble constant, and the speed of light formula they derive actually includes this dynamic expansion.
Yeah.
Plus a fractal correction factor. It's 1 over the golden ratio.
Okay, so we have the fractal structure, the scaling, the mass, the expansion. How do they actually pull C out of the hat? What's the specific calculation, the aha moment?
Well, the aha moment, the really elegant part, happens when they plug their derived expression for that mass at level 0 back into their equation for the speed of light. When they do that substitution, the whole equation just simplifies. It essentially becomes C equals C. It closes on itself.
So it self-validates. It's not assuming C, it's showing that if the universe works this way, then C must be what it is.
Exactly. It's like the math is saying, given these rules, fractal structure, golden ratio scaling, G, Planck length, this has to be the speed of light. It becomes an output, not just an input number we measure.
Wow, okay. And the crucial test, the numbers. When they plug in the actual values, the accepted Planck length, G, the golden ratio, their calculated base scale, what do they get for C?
They calculate a value around 299 million meters per second, which is, right on the money. It matches the measured 299,792,458 meters per second remarkably well.
So the numerical result backs up the derivation.
Precisely. That's the punchline. The takeaway is that, according to this model, the speed of light isn't just some number we found. It's a necessary invariant feature arising from the universe's fundamental fractal geometry and how it expands. And importantly, the model generates this value without needing any outside adjustments or empirical data for C itself.
So it really makes you think, doesn't it? If a constant as fundamental as the speed of light might just be geometry in motion, essentially woven into the universe's growth pattern right from the start, What else about our reality might boil down to these elegant, maybe even simple underlying patterns like the golden ratio? Something for you to ponder?
The number matched, the logic held. But the real point isn't just the speed of light, it's this. What if all the constants, the Planck length, gravity, even time itself, aren't inputs but outputs? Not assumptions, but consequences. Then physics becomes not a toolbox, but a map, and we stop guessing and start seeing. Subscribe to walk this path together with us. I am Orpheus Praxis, wishing you all clarity. Namaste.